about a unit that flies, has true sight, good amount of HP, severe amounts of magic damage, can be summoned at 50 mana, can be summoned every minute, and is invisible at level 3. Which sounds like a very balanced part of the game. So, anyway, because of that very hawk, though, gives the Blademaster level 3, and he goes over here to try and creepjack, and whenever you're orc, it's very important to try and get a creepjack on your night elf opponent, because you can have devastating creepjacks. You know, go in, hex their hero, they can't teleport, and just net and just take stuff out. And with the creeps and you can do some damage. So always go for the creepjack. That's a way to win. Anyway, if you look at the upgrades, he's upgraded defense so far, and that's already going to start to take off of the damage done by the range units, and he's upgraded attack as well. So yeah, more damage, takes less damage, trying to cancel out a spell. It's all good. And he has a defense scroll, which will additionally take out the a defense scroll, and one upgrade will add 4 armor and thus take out Fairy Fire. So that will even you up. And basically you just have magic damage, which is still good. It's just their spell isn't as potent. But unfortunately for the orc, the night elf is at tier 3 and now has Druid of the Talon Master training, which, as we all know, the orc is going to get some airtime from that, and it's not going to be very good. He's going to have lots of units in the air, and they're going to be flying around, and he's going to have some unfortunate circumstances. But anyway, so he knows where the night elf was, and he goes back out there, and he runs into the night elf creeping the mercenary camp. Anyway, he runs in from behind, and the night elf sees this, and he tries to get away. But because of net, he can't get away. But then he gets Cyclone. And if you look right here, the orc has 2 units go up in the air, and the night elf is trying to focus fire grunts, because grunts are getting fairy fired, and because of defense scroll, that now they have a regular 1 amount of armor, so they're really not doing super amounts of damage, and you can macro them away. The Blademaster is doing tons of damage. The Kodo's aura is giving extra damage out. The Demolisher gets in there, but it really doesn't have time to do anything. But then some unfortunate circumstances for the orc player. A Scroll of Beast is always good, and adding that in with the Fading Scroll of Defense, he's going to start to get full damage here. That Hawk is also just ripping grunts apart. He nets the Ogre Mauler, but he hexes it, because you don't want to waste your time with that. You want to go for those low hit point units. And if you look at the Kodo, he's eating an Archer, and it may seem pretty pointless. I mean, that's 130 gold, but it's better to eat something than nothing, and maybe an Archer was in the way. And he'll have time to eat that Mauler, well, he'll kill it anyway. So now the battle's winding down, and it's looking pretty even. Basically, the Hawk did a lot of damage there, but so did the wards from the Shadowhunter, as well as the Blademaster. The Blademaster's base damage just ripped the Night Elf apart. And it's going to come out pretty even. That's what you really have to hope for with Cyclone. I mean, you're not going to come out of that ahead by very much if you come out, because they have all your units up in the air and you really don't know what's going on, and you can't get all your units together. But he didn't let that phase him. He didn't try to run away or something. He put wards down. He let the Blademaster do his work. Now, he does something interesting here that you can try if you want to. I mean, I really haven't seen very many Ghostus use this, but he's going to use Spirit Walkers. But when you think about it, it's a pretty good counter, because you know they have summons, and Spirit Walkers can get rid of summons. You know they have Fairy Fire, Spirit Walkers can get rid of Fairy Fire, and you know that they have Cyclone, and they can get rid of Cyclone. Additionally, they do a ton of magic damage, and I know that they have no units taking double from magic damage, but with the aura, it's doing 19 minimum, you know, like 22 average magic damage. That's a lot of damage no matter what type of damage it is. That's a good amount. And with Spirit Link and Spell, they're pretty formidable units. But don't start off with them, because they'll be far too weak. You'll need the Raiders. Anyway, so now we have a little bit more of a creeping period, where both players, they want to attack, or they want to, sorry, I said that wrong, where both players don't want to attack, but they also don't want to let their opponent do whatever he wants. So they're going to get scrolls, and they're probably going to end up fighting anyway. If you look at the unit mix for the Night Elf, he's done the standard Master Druid of the Talon, Master Training, with a few archers mixed in, and Berserker, and Beastmaster and Demon Hunter. He'd probably be better off with a Fire Lord as well. That's for extra summoning power, and the spawns can multiply and be pretty deadly. But because of those Spirit Walkers, that really wouldn't even be an issue, because you can dispel in the same area as those Quill Beasts and the Hawks, and pretty much for no additional mana it would kill it. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't know there are Spirit Walkers, so it's a pretty good counter to the mass summon going on. Ward for the damage output on their units, Blademaster for the mass amounts of base damage, and Hex and Net to just take out heroes if you need to do that. Anyway, so we have a battle coming up here pretty soon. It's going to take place right outside the it's going to take place outside the Night Elf base in a bit. And always with Spirit Walkers, always make sure you put them into corporal form, I believe it is, where they can attack and do damage, because they are of no use to anyone when they don't. Anyway, so here you go. Here's the battle. Cyclone starts going off on the Raiders, because they don't want that double damage, but Dispel quickly takes care of that, and Dispel also hurts the Hawk, majorly. He eats the Mauler, and that's really great, 330 gold down the drain. And the only problem for him is he's not really getting into the back lines. The Demolisher's doing wondrous amount of damage, but he's really not getting in there because of Cyclone. He focuses on the Beastmaster, and it's pretty low, but then it eats a potion right before it's hexed, so it won't even get to be killed. It was great timing. But anyway, the Demon Hunter realizes what's going on. That is the utter destroying of his army, and he's like, I'm teleporting out. Because the Walkers pretty much took care of Cyclone, even though they probably let it go a little long sometimes, as well as Fairy Fire. And the Wards did extra damage, and the Blademaster did damage, and the Demolisher ripped apart the back lines. Always make sure you have 1 or 2 Demolishers, because that's the major source of damage output. If you have a Kodo along with some Demolishers, and the upgrades that it is, you're doing some serious damage. Anyway, so now he's going to go in for the tower, because he just won. He won a battle, and he feels that he's ready, to win here. And he has the wood, he has the gold. He's going to do it. He's going to go for the win. Anyway, so he starts to set up wards. And I know this was discussed in a previous audio, many audios ago. But if you watch what's going to happen with the tower, he's going to tower close to draw the Night Elf into the towers. And then once the Night Elf comes out and kills it, he towers farther back. That way the Night Elf has to come out farther to get to the enemy, and can be netted, and can be dispelled, and can be hexed, and can be whatever, and the wards can also start to build up and have more damage. And he has to come out eventually, because otherwise the Demolishers will own him, so he realizes he doesn't have forever. He does have an X-Spell coming, however, so that could theoretically help him in the long run, but it's not going to end up having to get to that. Anyway, so here we go, pretty much the final battle. He comes in, he burns the Shadow Hunter so that he won't have ward attacks. He Cyclones, he gets the Hawk out, and then the Orc forgets to put attack, and takes some damage, and he's like, okay, let's do this, we can roll like this. He windwalks the Blademaster, and he tries to focus on the Beastmaster, which he's going to do. He nets, and then he uses Windwalk again to finish him off, and then the Blademaster is just a beast now, level 4. He does 150 to the Demon Hunter. He goes for the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter uses 2 potions. The Blademaster's doing his damage, Raiders doing their damage, everyone's doing their part, and then the Blademaster for the kill on the Demon Hunter at the end, and now it's over, because now he has no heroes, and there's nothing he can do, and he only has units, and their towers coming up, and pretty much the Orc owns. That's what you have to do to beat Night Elf. You have to be able to have a good unit mix, to really have faith in your units, and to have some Demolishers as well as some Kodos. Oh, and additionally, if you didn't know this about Kodos, they are the fastest attacking unit in the Orc army. They attack at 1.144 seconds, and that is the fastest. I mean, I'm not going to include Bloodlust units or something. I don't know about Berserk. I know Berserkers attack slower, but when they're in Berserker mode, I don't know exactly where they stand. But just base unit, you press attack, move. Kodos are the fastest attacking unit. Anyway, so that's pretty much the Night Elf versus Orc matchup. The only other way that I've seen as a valid option that can work is Blademaster Torn Chieftain, because the Torn Chieftain's Shockwave will rip those guys apart. That can be pretty darn useful, because at level 3, that's 205. That takes 2 Shockwaves to kill every single unit in a row. And so at level 5, that's over. And I mean, either way, the good thing about Shadowhunter is wards, and you can hero focus much stronger with that. With a Torn Chieftain, you really can't hero focus. You have the army focus, and that can be good. But when the units start to dwindle down, and it's just pretty much heroes left, you don't want to have Torn Chieftain and Blademaster against Demon Hunter and Beastmaster. You want Shadowhunter and Blademaster, because then you can hex and you can windwalk and you can do the damage and you can stop them teleporting, and you can pretty much just pick off heroes. That's pretty much the only difference. I mean, obviously the pro is you get way more area of effect damage, because Shadowhunter and Blademaster don't even have any area of effect damage, but you have to rely on your Demolishers and your Raiders to do the main damage there. That's going to bring me to the conclusion of this matchup. So I hope you enjoyed this audio commentary as much as you know I did. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and tell me your private message, or get online, talk to me, and we'll see what we can do. Maybe hang out, play some games. But this is Tournament Rider signing out, and have a great day, guys. It's been real.